Hi everyone, my name is Mateus, and today we're going to talk about video games. Double Fine has recently released a 22-hour-long documentary that provides an in-depth look into the making of their latest game, Psychonauts 2. The documentary gives fans a behind-the-scenes look at the development process of the game, from the initial concept to the final product. For those who are unfamiliar with Double Fine, the studio is known for their unique and quirky video games. Their latest project, Psychonauts 2, is a continuation of their popular game Psychonauts, which was first released in 2005. The new game was highly anticipated by fans and has received positive reviews since its release. The 22-hour-long documentary provides an extensive look into the game's development process. Fans can see how the team came up with the idea for the game, how they worked through the design process, and how they overcame challenges along the way. The documentary also provides a look at the tools and software that were used to create the game, as well as interviews with the team members who worked on the project. The documentary is available for free on Double Fine's official YouTube channel, where fans can watch all 22 hours of the behind-the-scenes look at the making of Psychonauts 2. This is a unique opportunity for fans to gain insight into the game's development process, and it provides an educational look at how video games are made. The newly released remaster of the classic game Metroid Prime has recently been criticized by two former developers who worked on the original game. Zoid Kirsch, who was a senior gameplay engineer on the original game, and Jack Matthews, a former tech lead on the series, both took to Twitter to express their disappointment with the remaster's credits. In a screenshot shared by Kirsch on Twitter, the message at the end of the credits reads, "Based on the work of Metroid Prime, original Nintendo GameCube and Wii versions, development staff." This lack of full credit for the original development team has upset both Kirsch and Matthews, who feel that everyone who worked on the original game should be recognized in the remaster. Kirsch stated that he was let down. Metroid Prime's remaster does not include the full original game credits. He went on to say that, "I worked with so many amazing people on the game and everyone's name should be included in the remaster, not just a single card like this." Matthews echoed these sentiments, calling the lack of credit for the original team a travesty. He added that the absence of credit not only affects himself, but also others whose work remains largely unchanged in the remaster, such as the game design, appraised art, and code. Unfortunately, this issue of remakes and remasters not fully crediting the original developers is not a new one. Games such as Shadow of the Colossus and the Crash Bandicoot N. trilogy are examples of remakes that have received similar criticism for not properly acknowledging the original teams. Dead Island 2, the much-anticipated zombie-themed action role-playing game, has once again had its release date changed, this time to an earlier date. The game, which has been in development for several years, was initially scheduled to be released in 2015, but has faced multiple delays and changes in development teams. The latest change, which was announced by publisher Deep Silver, moves the release date of Dead Island 2 up by 1 week, and it is now set to be released on March 31, 2023. This is the latest in a long line of changes for the game, which has faced several delays and setbacks since its initial announcement. Fans of the Dead Island franchise have been eagerly awaiting the release of the sequel, which promises to bring a new level of excitement and immersion to the zombie-filled world of the original games. The latest delay is sure to be a disappointment for fans, who have been waiting for several years to get their hands on the latest installment in the popular series. Despite the delays and setbacks, Dead Island 2 is expected to be one of the biggest releases of the year, and will feature a massive open-world environment filled with zombies and other dangerous creatures. The game will also introduce a new set of characters, each with their own unique abilities and skills, which players will be able to use to survive in the zombie-infested world. While the delay is sure to be a disappointment for fans, it is important to remember that these types of changes are not uncommon in the development of video games. The goal of developers and publishers is always to deliver the best possible product, and the latest delay is likely the result of efforts to ensure that Dead Island 2 meets the high standards that fans have come to expect from the franchise. Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard is facing scrutiny from the UK Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, and the organization recently released a provisional findings report that sheds light on the impact of Xbox Game Pass on sales. According to Microsoft, the base game sales do experience a decline after being included on the Game Pass. The CMA reports that Microsoft submitted evidence which shows a redacted % drop in base game sales a year after being added to Game Pass. In the report, Microsoft argues that subscription services like Game Pass are not a separate market from the buy-to-play, B2P, model and views Game Pass and similar services as a different form of payment from B2P. To support this argument, Microsoft submitted evidence that players often switch between the two different payment methods. Microsoft claims that between redacted % and redacted % of Xbox gamers continue playing games purchased on a B2P basis for a year after unsubscribing from Game Pass, and between redacted % and redacted % of gamers purchase a game on a B2P basis within a year of unsubscribing from Game Pass. The CMA concludes in its provisional report that it finds that console B2P and Game Pass are in the same product market, but acknowledges that there is some differentiation between the two. Regarding the entire acquisition, the CMA provisionally concludes that the takeover could lead to higher prices, fewer options, and less innovation for UK gamers. However, the CMA has offered potential actions that Microsoft could take to secure approval for the acquisition, including potentially dropping the Activision unit and Call of Duty from the merger. The CMA's final report will be released by April 26, 2023. Along with the CMA, Microsoft is also facing a lawsuit from the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, over the Activision Blizzard acquisition. Additionally, it is rumored that the European Union is preparing to issue an antitrust warning to Microsoft. The EU's decision is expected by April 11. It's been recently reported that Activision will be releasing a new full premium title for Call of Duty in 2023. According to a Reddit post on the subreddit Gaming Leaks and Rumours, this new title is called Call of Duty 2050 and is being developed by Sledgehammer Games. The post states that the game is meant to be a spiritual successor to the 2014 game Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and will feature exosuits as a major selling point, bringing high-mobility gameplay back to the franchise. Call of Duty 2050 will include a full campaign, classic multiplayer, and Warzone 2.0 integration, which will include a new Battle Royale map. The game's customization system will be similar to the one in Advanced Warfare, allowing players to completely customize their soldiers' appearance. The campaign will center around a war between humanity and artificial intelligence androids, with the two main factions being humans and robots. According to the Reddit post, the game's campaign is meant to replicate the feeling of a classic Hollywood action movie, and will feature field upgrades similar to the specialist abilities from Call of Duty Black Ops 3. The post also mentions that there is a potentially controversial change in the game, where tactical equipment will be more like a secondary ability, rather than the usual smoke and stun grenades players are used to. It's important to note that this information has not been officially confirmed by Activision or Sledgehammer Games. The Reddit post is just a rumor, and as with all rumors, it should be taken with a grain of salt. That's all the news for today, Tuesday, February 14, 2023. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. The links to all the subjects discussed in this video are available in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.